Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome to a post-match edition of Inside Arsenal. Arsenal just finishing their game against Bournemouth, and what a fantastic day it has been for Arsenal. 4-0 winners on the South Coast, 4 goals, clean sheet. Kai Havertz scores his first Arsenal goal, and Manchester City lose at Wolves. I think when we all woke up this morning on a Saturday and we sort of looked ahead of what sort of day it could be, I'm not sure any of us predicted all of those good things could happen and could be combined into one. So what a great Saturday it has been. We'll talk about that game, just sort of brief match reaction. I'll do another video in the morning tomorrow where I'll go over it all in a lot more depth. We'll have a look at what Mikel Arteta's had to say about various things. So I'll do more an in-depth reaction video tomorrow. Today, just want to talk briefly about the game, do my player ratings. And then everyone can get off and enjoy their Saturday evenings and can enjoy it with a nice Arsenal win and the back of it all. So yeah, really comfortable win. Look, Bournemouth were pretty rubbish, let's face it, but I thought Arsenal were very, very good. Another good away performance from them, another clean sheet, and a game they completely and utterly dominated pretty much from the first whistle. Sort of defensively, they weren't really given too many problems by Bournemouth at all, and they dealt with it very, very well. Any sort of issues that came in, David Raya was in goal again. I thought David Raya actually played really well. I thought he came for crosses. He was really comfortable. He's composed. Thought his distribution was good as well. And that kind of set the tone a little bit. There was no panic stations at the back. Saliba and Gabriel are at their dominant best. Saliba just cruised through the game, barely broke sweat. He was so impressive. Gabriel, when Bournemouth did have a couple of chances, Gabriel was always there blocking them. And the pair of them played really, really well. And that just allowed Arsenal to kind of express themselves going forward in a way we haven't really seen too much from them so far in the Premier League. We saw it against PSV in the Champions League, but not so much in the Premier League. It's been all very kind of stop-start. Arsenal having to work really hard for their goals. Not the case today. They cut Bournemouth open a lot of times. In truth, they could have won by a lot more than just 4. But I don't think we're going to complain about that, are we? It was a very good, day nonetheless. And it was all started with a kind of strange goal, really, in the way it came. The ball came from across. Gabriel Jesus got there at the back post, got his header on the goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure what Neto was doing, to be fair for it, but he was kind of out of position. The ball hit the post, fell to Saka at the back stick, and he had the very easy job of heading it in to make it 1-0. Goal Arsenal deserved at the time, and then they managed to get the second goal, which I think was really, really crucial to get that second goal before half-time. It came from the penalty spot. Eddie Nketiah, who I thought had a good day, actually, Nketiah. Again, he started up front with Jesus playing out wide. When I first saw the team selection, I was just like, why has he done that again? But I thought Eddie played well. He really caused Bournemouth problems. He showed a lot of intent when he got the ball. He was running at them. And he did really well in that sort of fashion to win the penalty, getting into the box, driving towards the touchline, and the guy brought him down. It was a definite penalty. Somehow the Bournemouth players were moaning about it, but it was a definite penalty. And it looked like Saka was going to take it, but then, as Arsenal do, now suddenly the ball was handed to Odegaard. And brilliant penalty from Odegaard, slotted it away, gave the keeper the eyes, sent it in the wrong way. 2-0 at half-time, and that was a lead that Arsenal deserved. I think it was really important just to get that second goal, to get that little bit of breathing space going into the half-time, make sure it wasn't just a 1-goal game, and that allowed Arsenal to really dominate in the second half. They got the third fairly early on. It was a really big moment for Kai Havertz. It was a penalty again. I've totally forgotten who. I think it was Gabriel Jesus, wasn't it? Who got tripped? I can't remember who it was. Who got tripped for the penalty. But again, it was a penalty. Bournemouth were complaining, but the guy saying I got the ball, but he got the ball after he'd made the foul. Actually, it was Odegaard, I think, wasn't it? He came sliding in, kind of went through the player and then got the ball. It was a definite penalty. And it looked, at that point, like Saka was going to take it, it looked like Odegaard was going to take it, and then suddenly a big cheer rang round the ground, and it was because the Arsenal fans had seen that Kai Havertz had been given the ball. And I was worried at the time, I have to admit, because, look, we know what's going on with Kai Havertz at the moment. We know his confidence isn't that high, and I was surprised at 2-0 that they'd done something like that. At like 4-0 or 5-0, maybe you do things like that. But at 2-0, it just felt like if this goes wrong, if he misses this and Bournemouth come back into the game, then A, it's not going to help Kai Havertz at all. And B, the players are going to open themselves up for an awful lot of criticism. But Kai Havertz stuck the penalty away, and he stuck it away really, really nicely. And it was a lovely moment. You could see how happy his teammates were for him, the celebrations. They sort of pushed him in front of the Arsenal fans, and the Arsenal fans were really happy, and they were singing his name throughout the second half, singing his chant. And And, you just hope now, and Mikel Arteta was speaking about in his press conference, he said it's probably going to be the thing that changes now for Kai Havertz. And you could see, I thought he had a really good second half after that as well. And he looked more confident, immediately looked more confident. He was running with the ball at times. And, that could be such a big moment for him. And I think it was really, really crucial. And although at the time, as I said, I thought when I saw him given the ball, I thought, oh, what have they done here? But now, he scored it, he tucked it away. It was really, really, a good moment. And hopefully that proves to be the real sort of big turning point in terms of Kai Havertz and the start to the season he's having at Arsenal. There's still time for another goal. Martin Odegaard clipping in a free kick, Ben White scoring the header. And it was a good header by Ben White as well. There was, Emil Smith-Rowe could have had a couple after that. He came on and put one. Actually, they were both saved. Neto saved both of them well. The first one, I think he probably shouldn't have given Neto the opportunity to save it. You stick that away. The second one was a really powerful shot that Neto did really, really well to tip wide. And you could see how disappointed Smith-Rowe was. He wanted that goal so much, and he knew they were two big opportunities for him to score and to make an impact. But I thought he did make an impact in the very short time he was on the pitch. The fact he got in those positions, again, it's just those sort of positions that we don't really see from Arsenal's attacking midfielders at times, getting into those positions. So, unlucky not to score, but it was a good little cameo from him nonetheless. And like I said, just a perfect day for Arsenal. Man City losing at Wolves, that's a brilliant stat. I think Wolves had one shot on target in the game and they won 2-1. City had about 20-odd shots and Wolves won 2-1 because of an own goal. And I think it was Hwang scored for Wolves as well. It was a brilliant Alvarez free kick. But, big day for Arsenal, that City losing. Suddenly the gap to them is just 1 point ahead of the game next week at the Emirates. Arsenal win that, suddenly they're above City. And, things can turn just like that really, really quickly. And so it was a really good day. There was a couple of worrying things for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka limped off again. He did really well to block a shot late on. And it was just one of those ones where a real sort of impact injury where the two people basically kick the ball at the same time and just smash each other. And it really sort of had an impact on Saka. You could see he was really struggling to walk. And it was worrying sign. It looked like Jorginho was kind of having to help him off the pitch with the physio. And with City to come, the Champions League to come, that is not ideal at all. And Gabriel Jesus was limping at the end as well after getting an injury or a knock, hopefully just a knock right at the end of the game in the last few minutes. So, those two are the only sort of downbeat moments in the game. But other than that, just a really good afternoon for Arsenal. And combined with the City result, couldn't really ask for much more than that. Right, let's go through player ratings now, shall we? And as you can imagine, they're pretty good today, pretty high. David Raya, I gave a 7, but I could probably, to be honest, give David Raya. In fact, I am going to give David Raya an 8. I'm going to bump him up to an 8 because although he didn't have much to do in terms of saves-wise, he made one really good save just on half-time from Christie to keep it at 2-0, which was really, really important. But everything he did, every time they did send a cross into the box, Raya was coming out and claiming it really well. There was no anxiety at all. You just knew he was going to get those crosses. I thought he played really well and his distribution was good. There was a couple of lovely passes in there to set chances away for Arsenal of a breakaway. And I thought he played well. So I'm going to give David Raya an 8. I'm going to give Ben White an 8 as well. Typical White performance, got well at times, supported Saka, linked up well down the right-hand side, was barely troubled defensively. When he did everything well. And he scored that header at the end from Odegaard's free kick as well. So he gets an 8. Saliba was just so classy throughout. As I said at the start, it barely broke sweat. Just so comfortable in everything that he did. I gave him an 8. Gabriel, an 8 as well. So many good blocks from Gabriel to just snuff out any sort of half chance that Bournemouth had. Gabriel would be there to get his foot in front of it and keep him out. So he gets an 8. Zinchenko, I gave a 7. Thought he played well. Again, very close to scoring in the first half. Really powerful shot that was saved by Neto. So gave him a 7. Declan Rice. So toss up between my man of the match from Declan Rice and Odegaard. It's hard to separate the two, but I thought Declan was great. Every time he got on the ball and he just drove forward from midfield. It reminded me of Vieira at times when Vieira would get on the ball from deep and just set off for Arsenal and drive through the middle of the pitch, and you'd suddenly have 2 or 3 players chasing him from the opposition team. And that's what Declan Rice was doing today. It was just so much intent to get the ball forward when he got on the ball. Just brilliant. What a player. What a signing. I'm running out of superlatives to describe Declan Rice. So I give Declan Rice an 8 and Odegaard I gave an 8 as well. I'm giving everyone 8s here. Maybe I should give Declan Rice and Odegaard 9s because I thought those two were the best 2 Arsenal players. So maybe, I'm going to bump this up. I'm going to give Declan Rice and Odegaard both 9s. I can't decide who my man of the match is. Maybe Odegaard because he got an assist and a goal, and Declan Rice didn't, obviously. But I thought Rice was still brilliant. So yeah, I'm going to give Odegaard a 9. He was classy on the ball. Some of his touches were brilliant. Some of the little tricks he was pulling off were absolutely brilliant. Scored the penalty so well. Set up the goal for Ben White at the end as well. So yeah, Martin Odegaard, my man in the match. He gets a 9. Havertz, I gave a 7. I thought first half, it was a typical Kai Havertz first half, really, neat and tidy, but not really influencing the game too much. Second half, he scored the penalty and just immediately looked a lot brighter and a lot more confident. So I gave Kai Havertz a 7, Saka a 7 as well. Thought he caused problems whenever he was on the ball. Scored the first goal. Not his best game by any means. So I gave him a 7, but still a danger, always a threat. Eddie, I thought played really well. I'm going to give Eddie Nketiah an 8. Actually, I thought Eddie, he didn't score, but he always had that intent about him. Like he really wanted to score. He tried to get in the box. He won the penalty. He had one in the second half where he drove forward and put his shot wide, but it was just a lovely turn. And he did that a few times. He held the ball up really well. I thought it was a good striker's performance from Eddie Nketiah. So I give him an 8. Jesus, I gave a 7. On the fringes of things, certainly in the first half, came into it more in the second half. Once Nketiah had gone off, had a couple of chances that he sort of flashed just wide. Keeper made a couple of saves for him. So I give Jesus a 7. The substitutes who came on, Tomiyasu, Nelson, Vieira, Jorginho and Emil Smith-Rowe. Jorginho and Vieira on very, very late. Didn't really do too much. The game was done and dusted. Smith-Rowe, made that impact. He had a couple of chances. He looked bright. The other two, Tomiyasu and Nelson, just kind of helped see the game out as it was. So that's it. It's just a really solid, good performance from Arsenal. Couldn't have asked for any more than this. Like I said, 4 goals, clean sheet, first goal for Kai Havertz, and Manchester City lose at Wolves. So what a perfect Saturday. That's it from me, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know, as always, in the comments below. And I'll be back tomorrow to speak about today's game in a lot more in-depth and react to what Mikel Arteta had to say. Have a great Saturday evening, everyone. Speak to you soon.